What's up, YouTube? I'm Brock with PDQ, and we need to chat. What is with all the processors and the vulnerabilities lately? We've got Intel's downfall, which we're going to be talking about today. We've got Zenbleed and Inception. I mean, it's a hot mess out there, okay? But I'm going to show you some tools that we can use with PDQ Inventory and PDQ Connect so we can hopefully make it a little bit easier to find devices that may be impacted by these vulnerabilities, and so we can get them up to date, okay? So let's hop over. We're going to hop over to PDQ Inventory first. Okay, we got our computer list here. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is find processors in your environment, figure out which processors you have and which ones you need to worry about, okay? So if we go here, we actually have a pre-built report for processors. So we'll open that up. Right here, you can see the processors report. We'll open that up. And this gives us all the information, but we can take this a step further. We can actually right-click on this column header right here, the processor column, and we'll go group by this column right here. And what that's going to do, that's going to grab all of your processors, and it's just going to group by the processors, so you can just open up that one group, and it'll show you all the computers in your environment that has that particular processor. As you can see in my environment, I've only got the Intel Xeon platform here. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take that list, and you're going to want to compare it to the vulnerability list that Intel has put out, and we're going to link it down below. So make sure to check that out. Pull up that vulnerability list, see which processors you have in your environment, and see which ones are impacted, okay? The next thing you're going to want to do is to make a collection so you can easily easily identify the processors that are impacted. So right here, I've built a collection. If I double click on it, I can open it up and see what filters I've got running. So here I've got a pretty good list right here. And this includes most of just their standard Core i3, i5, i7, i9 processors. And the ones that are impacted are going to be from their 6th generation all the way up to the 11th gen processors. And you can see what I've done here is this is just going to grab anything. Most of the processors are going to have a bunch of numbers after this. So it's going to be i3-6077 or whatever. But just having that in there is going to pull those different processors in that meet those filters. I threw in this Xeon down at the bottom just because, like I said, I'm only running Xeon here, so I just wanted to be able to return some results in my collection. So using that, we can easily see which computers, we can easily filter for which computers are vulnerable. One other thing we can look at, if we go into all computers, we just click on a device, what you're going to want to look at, and you can build a collection off this as well, is you're going to want to look at the computer tab here and get the details, and you can actually see the BIOS version that you're running, because this fix for this vulnerability is going to require that you flash the BIOS on those devices. And all those patches should all be available from your chip manufacturer. So as you go through and do that, you can see which BIOS versions have been updated and which haven't. Okay. Now we're going to switch over to PDQ Connect real quick. And you can do something similar in PDQ Connect. If I open up one of these devices right here, we can see that in the overview section, we have the BIOS version. So we can still check that. I also have created a group, an Intel downfall vulnerability group here. We can pull up the filters, and it's going to be similar to what we've set up over there in PDQ Inventory. One thing to note is that you'll want to look at how Inventory and Connect pulls in that data. You'll see here that the filter is actually a little bit different than how it was pulled into Inventory. That's just because of the way that Connect pulls in the processor name. So make sure to check that before you just copy filters from one product to the other product. Okay, now, if you are struggling to update the BIOS of hundreds, potentially thousands of computers, I don't blame you. It's not something that anybody really wants to do. Luckily, Smart Deploy can help you out there. We'll put a link in the description below. We just had a webcast that shows off their platform packs, which are basically driver packs. You can go search for your platforms in there, locate the BIOS and the drivers that you need, and just go ahead and deploy them right out to your targets. And it makes it really easy versus going around and taking a billion steps updating the BIOS on each computer individually. So check that out down below. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Brock with PDQ. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, hit us up in the comments down below. Thanks again.